3 days after the brief telephone conversation about the Jackson Mini project, Frank Dileo was fired. Michael's publicist, Lee Saunders, issued a terse statement. Michael Jackson and Frank Dileo have announced an amicable parting. Jackson said, I thank Frank for his contribution on my behalf during the past several years. Perhaps Michael felt he had valid reasons for firing Frank, but he did it in a cowardly way. He had John Branco to do it. Look, man, I have to be the one to tell you this, John said, but Michael doesn't want you to work with you anymore. What? No, you're kidding me, right? Sorry, Frank, John told him. It's no joke. After some more discussion about the matter, Frank said, okay, fine with me. Then I just want to get paid whatever is owed me, and then I'll be on my way. Are you that Frank? John asked. He felt bad about it. He liked Frank and knew that Frank truly cared about Michael. Hell no, Frank said, trying to be the tough guy. Look, Johnny, if the kid doesn't want me, I don't want to be around. See you later. With that, Frank hung up. He then left the weight introduction center because I had to go to work, he recalled. I was out of a job. The next day, Frank telephoned Kenneth Choi, who was in San Francisco. I just wanted to tell you that Michael and I broke up, he said. What? What does that mean, broke up? Kenneth asked. I don't understand. The kid fired me, I'm telling you. I'm finished. Kaput. Oh, Kenneth said. That I understand. Immediately, word circulated within Michael Jackson's camp that Frank had taken the $1 million reward money. That Michael found out about it, and this was why he fired him. Of course, this was not true. Kenneth shortly recalled, that impressed me a great deal. Frank said that if Michael did end up going to Korea, then he might take some money as a bonus, but not before. Frank could have had $1 million that day, but he didn't take it, Jerome Howard confirmed. He could have accepted the money, never gotten Michael's signature, and it would have taken a lifetime in court before he ever have to return it again, if ever. But he's an honorable man. Later, Frank told me that he very gently talked to Michael about the Korea plan. He said you can't just ask Michael straight out to do something like Joseph did on the phone. Michael has to be stroked. His ego has to be massaged through before he will agree to do anything. I wonder if he had massaged it maybe one time too many. Actually, Michael was upset with Frank for a number of reasons. First of all, Michael felt that Frank had taken too much credit for his success. He was tired of other people taking credit for what he felt was his own destiny because Michael refused to be interviewed. Frank had developed a high media profile as his spokesman. Many celebrities, and Michael is one of them, do not like it when their representatives also become celebrities. Michael's ego is fragile. Frank was becoming too well known for Michael's taste. Giving interviews to the press, touting his accomplishments for Michael. Every time he did so, Michael cringed. Frank isn't even creative, Michael told an associate. Let's face it, I come up with all the ideas. Michael felt that Frank had also become too directorial. For instance, when the Bellator played Pittsburgh, Frank's hometown, he arranged a gathering so that he could introduce Michael to his close friends and relatives. Michael, I expect you to be there at 8 sharp, he said. Do you understand? He knew Michael will know they might show up or he might not. He hoped not to be embarrassed for people who mattered to him. So I would expect you to see you there, right? Michael didn't say anything. Later he complained, who is he to tell me what to do? Screw that. I tell him what to do. Michael showed up but an hour late, no doubt on purpose. Afterward, Frank let him have it. You embarrassed me, he screamed at him. What's wrong with you? How could you have done this to me? Michael see it as Frank laid into him. Finally, Bill Berry began shouting at Frank to leave Michael alone. You man, Bill said. He don't work for you. You work for him. You better check yourself. It was an unpleasant scene. Another matter had to do with that some thought Frank had bungled on Michael's behalf. A multi-million-dollar contract for domestic theatrical release of Michael's 90-minute video Moonwalker, which is part clip compilation and part musical autobiography. The film features Michael's innovative video of Leave Me Alone, in which he spoofed his image by showing a shrine to Elizabeth Taylor, a newspaper headline that read, Michael confines in Chip, and a discomforting segment in which he danced with an elephant man's skeleton. In the video, Michael moves through a surreal world of floating chairs, huge shopping teeth, and amusement park rides. It took 25 people 6 months to make the 4 minute and 45-second video. The Moonwalker project cost Michael Jackson about $27 million. It was released theatrically in Japan, but not in the United States because of numerous disagreements. It had been reported that Frank was behind the decision not to release Moonwalker domestically, angering international distributors who have bought the film for theatrical releases. When the announcement was made that there would be no domestic deal, many overseas theaters pulled the film or scaled down its promotion and publicity. This decision cost Michael many millions of dollars in lost box office revenue. Frank eventually did come up with a multi-million-dollar offer to distribute the film domestically, but someone else in Michael's organization talked him out of it. Therefore, while Michael may have been angry at the way the distribution of Moonwalker was handled, he didn't blame Frank for it, not entirely anyway. Most of Michael's associates felt that Michael should have been angry at Frank, however, for allowing him to spend 27 million on Moonwalker, a video project whose budget should not have exceeded $5 million. In the end, the video made other deals. Another tribute to John Branca's negotiating savvy and Walter Yekudev's persistence. CBS Music Video Enterprises distributed the tape. No home music video ever come close to generating that much money for its artists. Still, after Moonwalker, Michael said they felt poor and didn't want to spend any more money in major projects for a long, long time. Another problem with Frank was that Michael had become disgusted with the tabloid image of himself that he believed Frank was continuing to propagate. But the Hyperbaric Chamber and Elephant Man's Bones stories were Michael's ideas, not Frank's. One story that appeared in The Star on August 2, 1988, was particularly disturbing to Michael. Michael Jackson bans 4 pals from tour after they flunked AIDS tests. The article said that Michael fired 4 employees because they had tested positive for HIV. I'm really afraid of AIDS, Michael was quoted as having said. I think about having lunch with these guys and shaking hands and spending so much time together. The article also said that Michael was spending a fortune living in his own frozen body, moved around with him wherever he goes. You never know when you may need blood, and the only blood I can be sure of is my own, Michael supposedly said. Apparently, Michael was paying the price for the idea he had had over years ago to have the plexiglass shield constructed between him and his audiences to protect them from germs during the 1984 Victory Tour. He realized at the time that the plan was absurd and dropped it. Someone in his team remembered it, though, and after embellishing it with an HIV twist, then sold it to the tabloid. The peculiar idea came to Michael during the time after his burn accident, when he had some fascinated with medicine. He became a ravenous reader of medical books and enjoyed reading and hearing about dreadful diseases. For a while, he also became obsessed with learning about different surgeries, going so far as to witness operations at UCLA Medical Center. Michael's curious about surgery, said one former associate. He gets off on it. He can watch for hours. He especially likes to watch plastic surgeries, tummy tucks, liposuctions. He's into all of that. He has even witnessed brain surgeries. While he was interested in medicine, he was not obsessed with catching AIDS and had only apathetic feelings about the disease. When Michael read the report, he became upset, said Michael Tucker, a friend of the Jackson family, not the actor. Of all diseases, AIDS is one that Michael is most sensitive about. Why would they write this about me? He said. This isn't me at all. What if people believe this of me? What are they going to think of me? He became furious and wanted to know where the report originated. If I find out that anyone in my organization planted these hurtful stories, that person will be fired. I mean it, he said. It's not no Michael fired Frank DeLeo because he wanted to end his wacky image in the tabloids. After Frank was gone, though, the stories continued. It wasn't necessary for anyone in Michael's staff to plant them. Writers just made them up as they went along. The primary reason Michael dismissed Frank was because he was disappointed that Bad was not as successful as Thriller. He had so only sold about 20 million copies worldwide, roughly one fifth of what Michael had hoped for. Thriller sold 24 million in the United States. Bad sold 6 million. Michael was off, so one friend of Frank DeLeo's. He had his heart set on another huge album. When he didn't get what he wanted, he acted like a spoiled little kid. He threw temper tantrums. He cried. He can be very dramatic. Frank had his hands full. He had a lot to deal with, but he would do the best he could. Frank said at bed. He made the best album and the best videos he could. We don't have anything to be ashamed of. Well, that may be true. Some were whispering in Michael's ear that Frank should have done a better job. That began to creep into Michael's mind. He had to blame someone for what he thought was a weak showing for Bad. Therefore, he blamed Frank DeLeo. About a year later, Frank West said there was no warning. Did it anger me? Yes. The way it was done was an insult. Here took away my faith in people. For a long time, I have not been as trusted. Frank felt that the last Michael could have done was fire him personally. However, Michael was not a sentimental person and never has been one. To Michael, Frank was not a second father. Rather, he was a capable businessman who had, in Michael's view, exhausted his usefulness.